Hello, everyone. Welcome to this call. We're going to talk a little bit about Zincino. My name is Carla Nelson Wolf, and I'm from Clear Lake, Minnesota. I've been a teacher and a counselor most of my adult life, and I actually thought that I was very healthy. But about 10 years ago, I took a Zincino test and found out I wasn't as healthy as I thought. And I've been doing this now for about 10 years, and I think I have more energy now than ever. So, and I think I'm feeling younger than ever. And we're going to hear today some other stories and a little bit about why Zincino is working. So to help me do that, I'm really honored to have somebody on who has not only won an Olympic gold medal, but has also been working with health her entire life. So let's bring her on here, Anna Dorte Tenop. Hi, Anna Dorte.
Hi, Carla. Just call me Anne. That's easier, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, I guess because it's also the Danish name, Dorte, and knowing that you're Danish, but you're not in Denmark now, correct?
No, I am in Switzerland. I've been here for many, many years, and I have lived abroad for quite some time now. And my career in handball ended many years ago. So when I was 25 and I'm 50 today. And I have been educated as a health coach. I work with athletes. I'm also a high performance coach. So most of my adult life has been around some type of health and performance. So I also, just like you, Carla, thought, oh, I'm healthy. I know everything. There's nothing they can tell me because I'm cool. I know I'm an expert. So I met Zincino and I was introduced to the Zincino test, and I took it and I was shocked because I did not pass that test. So I started Zincino and I realized that I hadn't been so healthy because before Zincino, I had struggled with my health. I was tired, I had brain fog, and I also sometimes were quite short-tempered with my kids. But after having had Zincino for a few months, I realized that I was no longer having brain fog. I was, I believe, a much better mom. I was more patient. And I also realized that I actually could focus and I could start driving my car again without having this tendency to fall asleep. So I was really grateful that somebody actually introduced me to the test.
And that's wonderful. And it is the test that matters. So many people are thinking, yes, I'm healthy, but what is that test really telling us?
So the test that I was quite surprised about, because as I said, I was a health coach, I was an educator in nutrition, and I'd never taken a test like this. So this test will show you your fatty acids, and you might sit there and say, what is this? But we're talking about omega-6s and omega-3s, and you might have heard about omegas. And we're talking about what they actually do on a cellular level. So when you take a Zincino test, you will get a PDF file, an individualized file that will tell you exactly how you look inside. And who knows? I mean, I thought I was healthy, but I did not know how I looked inside, and I was not healthy.
But people, that's the thing, is you look at somebody and you think they look healthy, but we can't see what's really going on inside. So taking this test is one of the most important things people should start with doing. Let's get that test taken. But what can we do if we are out of balance? And what does this balance really mean, Anna Dorte?
So the balance we're talking about here is in between the two omegas, omega-6 and omega-3, that are essential fatty acids, meaning that we do not produce them ourselves. We need to eat them. So if we do not have these in our diet, that's an issue, because we actually need to have a balance between these two to function well. And we are talking about not just anything. We're talking about the brain, the heart, the skin. All tissue in our bodies consist of cells, and those cells have to have this balance between omega-6 and 3. So that is what we're measuring. We're taking a little blood drip from your blood. We send it to an independent laboratory in Norway, and you will get a test result back showing if you are in balance or not. And if you're not in balance, we also have a solution.
Okay, so that's I think what most people want to know, because we want to be healthy. We want us to be healthy. We want our whole families to be healthy. But so if this test is like showing this about the cell, what can we do to get our cells healthy then?
So we actually have a product. It's called a Balance Oil, and we can start using that. And I know we have some people here tonight that have taken the test, and they have also gotten a result, and maybe they will tell their stories, Carla.
I would love to hear some stories. So let's start with Jewel. Jewel, also Danish. Let's bring her on and tell her story. Jewel, can you tell your story?
Hi, everyone. I sure can. I'm Jewel. I'm 45 and I'm from Denmark. I'm a physiotherapist, and after 2 very difficult pregnancies, I ended up in chronic pain. I was in pain for 7 years. I tried a lot of different treatments, but ended up taking pain medication to keep doing my job as a physiotherapist. I started on Zincino in 2014, and it only took 4 months, and I was completely pain-free. And I haven't taken any pain medication since. We don't even have pain medication in our household. So I'm very grateful that my body was able to heal, and I'm still a physiotherapist doing my job today. So that's my story. And if you want to know my test score, I think it wasn't that bad. I think it was 10.2 or something in that area. It's a while back. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. And Donna, we know that these tests really matter and the numbers really matter, and then we can do something about it. So what are you thinking about of your test when you found out about this?
Yeah, so as I said in the beginning, I thought I was healthy. I believe I'm the expert in the family around my friends, but my test result was not good. And I was quite shocked. I was 19-1, and you're supposed to, if you're healthy and your cells are healthy, you're supposed to be around 3-1. So you were even better than me, Jewel. And I did not have chronic pain. I did have issues with tiredness and energy levels, but we have so many different things that impacts when we're not in balance. So we have our brain, but we also have muscles. We can have even like our gut health also sometimes if you're not in balance. But we have a lot of issues, and skin issues and hair issues and so many things that just gives you not a very nice life, because you are impacted by many of these things, and you actually believe that with age this is just normal, but it's not. And we know this. And then we have more stories to tell that it is not normal to have pain or to suffer from something just because we get older.
That is a big difference. So let's hear the next story. Carol, could you unmute yourself and tell your story?
Sure. Hi, I'm Carol from Nelson, Minnesota, now retired. I've done many jobs, but the last one was, we'll say, office work. I hurt from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, chronic pain, and the doctors had me pain medications and muscle relaxers, sleeping pills. And after being on Zincino for just a few months, I can honestly say I am pain-free and taking no medications at age 65. So praise God for Zincino.
Now, Anna, you can tell when somebody has had chronic things going on and had a lot of pain, it makes a difference. What is Zincino doing that it's helping this?
Well, Zincino is doing a lot of things. So when we talk about the balance oil, for sure, we're talking about tissues, because as we just discussed, our cells are composed and surrounded by a cell membrane, and that cell membrane has a very special composition of fatty acids, and we have to have it balanced, that fatty acids between 6s and 3s. And if that is out of balance, suddenly the cell might slow down its overall how it works. We don't get the nutrients into the cell, but we also don't get all the waste products that we produce inside of the cell out of the cell. And if we have trillions of cells in the body, and this is happening to all of them, I think it's pretty normal that we will feel that. we just don't know because we cannot see it. But we do feel that we have a slower body, maybe our brain doesn't work as fast. Maybe we actually have chronic pain, as we have just heard Jewel and Carol talk about today. So the normal way to handle this is to take painkillers. But what if there is another solution, as we have just heard? Who wouldn't love to have that?
Well, let's hear another one of those stories. Donna, maybe you would unmute yourself and we could hear your story. Donna?
Hi, I'm Donna Suter-Balan from Ontario, Canada, and have supported my habit of regenerative farming as a hairstylist for almost 30 years. Because of physical pain and stiffness from a car accident at 17 and several farm accidents, I was no longer able to continue my endeavors in a meaningful way. Then I started Zinzino, and inside of 2 weeks, my daily pain levels went from 9 out of 10 down to 2 out of 10. And I've dropped almost 60 pounds since the end of April. So that allows me to be far more actively engaged with our 3- and 5-year-old grandsons. I cannot say in words how grateful I am for the Zinzino products. They gave me my life back, and my grandbabies now have a grandma that can play with them.
I love it. I think that says a lot when you really are changing the quality of life for people. Wouldn't you say that, Anna Donna?
I think that's the main thing why we actually here, because most of us have experienced it. We have either experienced it on our own body, or we have seen a family member or a dear friend that's happened to. And I don't think we have anything more important than our health. And can we improve the quality of health and actually have this opportunity to grow into old age and still be able to be active and do things we love, then I believe that Zinzino is an amazing solution for many, many, many people.
You know, I would have said the same thing in regards to getting, more energy. Personally, I thought I was healthy, but I have more energy now. I'll be 55 this year. I have more energy. I think I feel younger. And look, I mean, Donna's lost all that weight just since last year. That's incredible.
Yeah. So another thing I believe also we see with Zinzino is that people feel younger. And a lot of us get compliments also that we actually look younger. And it's quite easy to explain why, because suddenly we get filled up of these healthy fatty acids, and the body and the skin suddenly is filled out again. So instead of going and have maybe different surgeries or Botox, I prefer just to take the Zinzino.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear another story here of something completely different. Jimmy, would you unmute yourself and tell your story?
Yeah, sure. I would love to share my story. My name is Jimmy. I'm 43 years old and I live in Denmark. And I was born with heart disease, where my aorta was switched around. So I have a lot of problems with heart flimmer since I was born. And at one point, my wife was very sad to leave me alone when she's go to job, because she was afraid that I should get a heart attack. And in 2012, I met Zinzino, and it totally changed my life. Today, I have almost nothing at all. I think it's 2 to 3 times a year that I have heart flimmer, and now she can safely go to work. So thank you, Zinzino. It's really changing my life.
I think that is very moving, because it's safety and security. And actually with this test, we know that what we're doing is really making sure that the body is working optimally. Wouldn't you say, Anna?
Yes, for sure. One of the most tested, if not the most tested ingredients or component in the world in supplements is actually omega-3. And one of the things that have come out is the huge positive effect it has on our hearts and our vascular health. So Jimmy, for sure, it is not a miracle thing we have, but what it has done for you is more or less, I can imagine, and knowing you, it has been for you very life-changing.
It
Love
gave
it.
back my life, I will say, if you ask me.
For you and your family.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. You know, and I think just the fact of what Zinzino is doing. So we look at taking this test. You take a test, you find out what's going on. But Zinzino also has this answer. So it's the 3 things in our health protocol. Getting those omegas in balance is one of them. And that's helping every area. So your heart, your brain, every area, including your skin. And so getting that in balance. And then there's a couple other things that really matter for your health. And Adora, would you explain that a little bit?
Yes, so there are other things that are very important to us. And I think we have been around a little bit. So we have gut health. We know that one of the biggest issues in the world today is actually that we do not have a very good gut microbiome. And I know that's a little technical, but it does not mean anything else but that we do not have the best way of digesting, and we do not eat the right things for our gut health. So what we do in Zinzino is that we have a product that's called Synbiotic, and it gives the fibers back to the gut, meaning that we can actually suddenly have a gut that is in balance. And what does that mean? It means that our immune system suddenly starts working, because 70% of our immune system is located around our gut. So when you have a gut in balance, you suddenly have an immune system that is working better. And who wouldn't love to have that in this area of time we are living in? Another thing we also know is that our gut health, good or bad, is affecting our brain. So a lot of the health issues we see today and mental issues can be put back into okay, it actually comes from an unhealthy gut. So giving these fibers into your body and into your gut and getting your gut into balance again can affect positively also your mental health. So I think a lot of things that we have today is actually very important that we do take into consideration, that we do need to fix our gut. Another thing we have is the Extend, Carla. And Extend is a product, a very interesting product, and probably one of the only ones, if not the only one, that is put together in that way on the market. So it's a vitamin immune supplement that helps the immune system. It has all the vitamins and minerals needed to start activating all the normal processes in the body. We do not have an overload of 1 or 2 or 3 different vitamins. No. We have them all in the correct amounts that only is needed to start all the processes. So this is basic nutrition, which is so hard to get basic nutrition today, because we are exposed to many different things. But having and taking this Zinzino Health Protocol, as you say, Carla, it's a restart. So tell me how you explain the protocol.
Well, I was not the nutritionist. I was a teacher and a counselor. So I kind of think of it like computer wise, when my computer was getting slow and I needed to restart it, I'd push Control Alt Delete and it restarts, and it's like works like new. I kind of think of the same thing with our health protocol. It's the Control Alt Delete with these 3 products. Now I know it takes 120 days because we just can't rush our blood cells, right? But by doing this 120 days later, you can take that test again. That way you're able to prove that this is really working. Yeah. And that's the magic of Zinzino. It works, right?
Yes, and I always recommend to take the test yearly, because you never know how life changes and what is needed today. What you need today might not be what you need next year. So take that test yearly, because it will show you what you need.
I want to get another story in here also, because it really is life-changing with the story and the entire health protocol. So Bibi, would you unmute yourself and tell your story?
Yes. Hi, I'm Bibi Frederick, and I live in Chicago, and I have a background in nursing. And I, at one point, got really bad knee pain and could barely walk around, go shopping, or never went for long walks or anything like that. Just felt like I was 90 years old. And then I got on Zinzino, and after 2 months, I didn't have any more pain. And to this day, I can still go for long walks, do what I need to do without getting exhausted like I used to do. And so I'm really grateful for these products.
Oh, I love that, Anna-Dora. And that's actually the whole health protocol working to kind of rejuvenate your body, correct?
Yes. So congratulations, Bibi. I love hearing this. And exactly, when you give your body what it needs and what is essential to it, it will regenerate. We're not born, we're not made to be sick or to get injuries or to not be healthy. So giving the body back what it needs, it will start regenerating. And slowly, we will get back and get our health back. And I think most of what the stories have been told tonight is proof of that.
And actually, just health, it's so important for each and every one of us. But you know, there are people that have it even more important, like for our kids or our grandkids. So let's hear a little bit about Ole's story and his family. Ole, would you tell your story?
Of course. Hi, Carla. I'm Ole. I'm from Denmark, Roskilde, and I'm a former professional soccer player. 2 years ago, our son, he was 10 years old, and he got difficulties attending school. He couldn't get in school and see his classmates that he has known for 5 years. So he was very closed and aggressive at the same time, and actually couldn't do many things alone. So he had some mental issues and difficulties. Back then, 2 years ago, we met Cincino, and after 4 months, we got a son who was more alive and awake, and with whom we could communicate again and take these small steps in the right direction to get him on a better way. So we are highly grateful for Cincino.
Just love that. And Anna-Dora, I think those are the ones that really matter almost the most when you hear about the kids, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard your story before, Ole, and it is just amazing. So yes, it's not the only one we hear about kids. There are many stories. And unfortunately, there are so many sick kids today. And yes, we cannot help them all, but I'm sure we can help a lot of them.
So one of the things I do know is that with Ole, we're doing the health protocol, and the health protocol is something absolutely everybody needs. I mean, we can look and see on our test scores, and there are about 100, or we've taken almost 1 million tests now, and of everybody who's taken them, 97% of the world needs this, and we're proving it with just a drop of blood that is showing them from an independent lab that people need this. And getting on that health protocol is really making a difference for everybody's health. And then you can take that test again, and of everybody we've taken a second test with, 95% are in balance. And I know that with Ole's story, one of the things when we're talking about mental issues, something in the brain, we know that this product that Cincino has called Viva is also something that is so important. Can you explain a little bit about that, Anna?
Yeah, so Viva is an amazing thing for the right people. So Viva, the main ingredients in Viva is saffron. And saffron has been known for many years, like thousands of years, to actually help improve mood, have better sleep, and better relaxation. And when we use this product today, we see that these brains that kind of have been overworked, or maybe not in balance, but somehow have gotten out of balance, suddenly with Viva, with saffron, it kind of it helps it to get back into the right computer energy. I would say, like, our brain is kind of a computer. And when the computer goes wrong, it goes really wrong. So it's like then it has like a sickness or something. And then you start giving it saffron, and suddenly it starts to get back into place. And slowly, these people come out again. They come out of the brain that has been kind of shut down, and it starts to wake up. And that's amazing. But we also use it for sleep. We also use it for de-stressing. So people that have high stress levels, people that have heart issues sleeping, we can all use Viva. And it's not like a sleeping pill, you fall asleep if you take it Not at all. It helps you where you have issues. So don't you sleep well? It helps you sleep better. Do you have bad mood? It might help you to higher your mood, or maybe you're stressed and it will help you relax. So it is definitely something that is very interesting.
And you know what we call it here in the US? I call it a spa for the mind, because first of all, we love spas, but it gives you that peace when you need it. It brings about the sleep when you need it. And so the spa for the mind is something that so many people in the United States are taking some type of medications for, instead of taking something all natural that really can help you. So, you know, just what we're talking about here in regards to health is, if we cut it down very simply, what we're saying is healthy cells, healthy body. And this is really what we're doing here in Zinzino. And we're on a mission. We want everyone to hear about this. We want everyone to get tested. Once we can show you what that test is and what it really means, you know, we can show you what you need to be taking to do that. And I recommend the health protocol for everybody, because I really know that people need it. And Viva, if you need it for stress, your mood, or sleep issues, add that Viva. In the United States, we call that the health protocol premium, putting those 4 things together. But, you know, Anna-Dora, getting the word out and telling more people about this, you know, I love that we want to tell more, because in Zinzino, people can choose, become a customer, check us out, take a test. If you're interested in getting healthier, this is for you. But in Zinzino, you can also choose to partner up with the company. And either way, it's costs the same. The products are going to be the same. So it's up to you. If you want to be healthy, start as a customer. If you're looking at ways to become, have more income or a reason to wanting to help other people, that's what we're doing in Zinzino, spreading this news, and actually can create an income. And Anna-Dora, I know we have a couple stories in regards to that too. So I think I'm going to grab a couple of them here. I think I'll start. Trisha, would you unmute yourself and maybe start by telling why you partnered up with Zinzino?
Hello, I'm Trisha Martin from Aiken, Minnesota. I had a career in senior social services. It was rewarding work, but unfortunately ended before I was financially ready to retire. So I knew I needed to do something else, part-time maybe. Well, I heard about Zinzino and I thought, this is for me. Now I have doubled and tripled my retirement income. And you know, Carla, it's just the beginning.
And that's what I think it really is. We know where this is going. We know there's so many people who need it. We're showing it with their own blood, and it's making that much of a difference. Now, Anna-Dora, I think it really matters for people too, to really feel that they're making that difference. I think that's one of the reasons some people get started too, is to be with a whole bunch of people that are really going after some goals and wanting to help other people. Don't you think, Anna-Dora?
Oh, for sure. That's one of the reasons why I'm here today. So I'm, you know this, Carla. So in my career as an elite athlete, I had my team around me and we set goals. We were working hard to achieve them, and we succeeded and we got to the top. And then it ended. I got injured. And then I got 4 kids and I got new education and I worked in other places. But I was so missing my team. I was so missing this interaction and teamwork and building together and doing things and achieving and accomplishing and going to the top. And that I have found here again. And that's just amazing. So I am thrilled. One thing is I help people with their health and I can help people with their finances. But most of all, the community that I have found here has given me passion and meaning back. And that is so much worth all of the hours and all of everything that I do here. So thank you for that.
You know, it's a teamwork too. And there's people, I mean, there's so many reasons why people are looking at Zinzino. Let's hear maybe a couple more here. Jackie, would you mind unmuting your line so that we can hear your story about why you started Zinzino?
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm Jackie and I live in Bayfield, Wisconsin with my husband. and I am a retired nurse. And I think the thing I like most about my nursing career was that you just got to be really intimately involved with people on their journey to health. And what I really saw, though, in doing that was many times your hands are just really, really tied with how much you can really do because of all the rules about, how do we really treat illness? So about 2 years ago, we were introduced to Zinzino. And when I really realized what Zinzino could do for people, it just gave me just a really renewed passion and a drive and a spirit. And just to know how much Zinzino can impact people's life and that I could be a part of that. So I'm very grateful for that.
And I love that, Jackie. And I love that feeling that, that we're really making an impact, because we can hear so many stories like the ones we've heard today of what Zinzino is really doing. And I'd like to hear one more story too, again, back from where I was from, because personally, I took an exchange program to Denmark and lived there for so many years. And that's how I heard about the Scandinavian company. And I was a teacher and counselor, and I was one of those teachers and counselors that just loved it. But the issue for me was that it was a lot of meetings, afternoons and evenings when other people, were off. And so when I got started in Zinzino about 1.5 years later, I actually could match and almost double my teacher's wages, which gave me that choice that I could be at home with my family. And I think that was the best gift from Zinzino ever. And now we get to spread the news to a lot of other people. And that's why I'm excited to have this next story on, also from Denmark. Lena, would you unmute yourself and tell your story?
Yes, of course. Hi, my name is Lena, and I am in Denmark. I'm a veterinarian nurse. I actually like my job. I like working with health and making a difference. But life can be kind of tough if money is short, especially being a single mom with 2 girls. And the only wish they have is to have a horse. So I started Zinzino, and I can still work with health, and I can still make that difference. And for the last 7 years, I think that our lives has been a little bit better, and my girls are very happy because they have the horse.
I just love that story, because it really is, people can take a look at Zinzino and just be customers. But if this is really working for you and you want to have a reason to be earning extra income, you can earn a little income, you can earn a lot of income. It's totally up to you. And this company has been around since 2005. And if you look at all of those years put together, growing with at least 30% on average for all of those years, there's a reason. And the reason is the stories that you've heard today. And just making a difference by healthy cells means a healthy body. And that's what we're doing. And it's something that we can prove with a little drop of blood and sending it off to that independent lab that's giving us our results back. And then 120 days later, proving that it's working. And Anna, when I got started in this about 11 years ago, we were in just the Scandinavian countries where we're both from. And now I'm in the US, you're in Switzerland, and yet we're now in over 100 countries we can sign people up in, and we're not stopping here. We know that we're getting close to our first 1 million test, but we've got goals in Zinzino of hitting 100 million people in balance by 2050. We've got a long way to go, don't we, Anna?
Yes, we're just seeing the top of the iceberg here. Like, we have visionary people, leaders that are leading our company. And I love being around visionary people that have a goal, that want to change the world. And I've been around them. I won my medals because we had a coach that believed so deeply. I've been around other people. And this is why I'm here, because we have the right leaders, we have the right company, we can see where we are going, we have the products that can take us to change this world. So yes, I totally agree with you, Carla.
So thank you, Anna, for being on. I love where we're going with this. I love that we're all doing this together and sharing this. But so for any of you that are just looking at this now, I hope that you'll check out what Zinzino is really about and how it can help you. So number one, go get your test and let us show you what that means and how important it is for you to see that picture of what your body is really telling you about your health. Because we know healthy cells mean a healthy body, and we really want to inspire change in life that way in Zinzino. So thank each and every one of you that were on here today. And I hope that if you're a guest, contact the person who showed you this, and let's really get you started on a journey to better health. And if you're looking at a way to create a little income or a lot of income, take a look at Zinzino. We're a lot of fun people who would love to be on the mission with you to share this with the entire world. We've only taken about 26,000 tests here in the United States. We've only got 330 million more to go. I think we've got at least 30 million up there in Canada with Donna. We've got people all over the world. So we know we're going global with this, and we're looking for more. So hopefully you'll take a closer look at Zinzino. Thank you, everybody who was on here today. So appreciate each and every one of you. And let's take this global. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you all. Thanks, everybody.